So April is done, all the paychecks have hit, and I'm sitting here about to do something that I think more people should be doing with their money, and that is budgeting. Deciding where your money goes before it just disappears. So real quick, for a little bit of context about me, I work at Whataburger, and I just got promoted to be a shift leader, which bumps me up to $18 an hour. And I normally work around 34 hours a week. So for a college student working part-time, I'm aware that this income is a little bit more than most, and I'm going to be honest about that. And I want to be even more honest about something else. My parents cover my rent, my health insurance, my car insurance, and my phone bill. And I'm aware that that's not a typical situation, but that's why I do want to control where my money goes, what savings and investing happens, while I do have more freedom to build early. And that's what this whole entire video is about, because here's the thing, it's not really about the numbers, it's about the systems that I'm building in my life with financial discipline. The system is the thing that works whether you make more than I make, what I make, or half of what I make. So let's get right into it. So for the entire month of April, I made $1,843.19. And now remember, just for your context, that is me working 34 hours a week at $18 an hour as a shift leader at Whataburger. So the core rule that I like to follow in my own monthly budget is to always pay myself first. And that's something I always recommend to people as well, because you want to make sure that you are benefiting from the money that you are making before you're sending that money out to different bills like rent, utilities, and even the subscriptions that you pay for each month. So the first thing I do is split my money 70 and 30. 30% of my money is going straight to myself so that I can make sure that I'm building the long-term wealth that I want to build. So for me, that's 15% of my income into a high-yield savings account. I use my high-yield savings account as an emergency fund and for very short-term savings things. Short-term savings is like within the next year, I will be moving out of my apartment and I will be paying my own rent by that point. So then I will need money to have a little bit of backup cushion for those first couple months of moving in with rent. And I'll also need things for paying moving fees and all that sort of stuff. So those sort of expenses like that is what I keep in a very short-term savings account. And the reason is I don't want that money to have a chance of devaluing in the market in the short term. The next thing I do is 10% of my income to my Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is a retirement account that I'm going to not touch until I'm 59 and a half, when I can touch it tax-free. The benefit of this is I can go ahead and start saving for retirement now and benefit from the long-term benefits of compound interest. Then I put the other 5% of that 30% into my individual brokerage account. This is kind of like my mid-tier. I use the high-yield savings for short-term, Roth IRA for long-term, and in that individual brokerage is the area in the middle. In a couple years when I'm out of college, and if I want to really invest in the business that I want to start, that gives me a cushion of a couple months of expenses already covered in an account. The other idea, I can't decide if I want to do this yet, but if I do want to retire early, I can't touch my Roth until actual retirement age, but you can touch an individual brokerage account at any point. It will just be taxed with capital gains tax. So that account there also gives me that option. The last thing that it could be used for is a down payment on my first house or a car, something like that. That account is very important for that specific area. And something I want to clarify with these percentages is it's a percent whether I make $1,800 a month or just a month ago when I was making $1,000 in a month. It's the same system. I'm doing the exact same percentages. It's just a little different now because I'm making a little bit more income. My income is really the only thing that changed. The percentages always stay the same. So with paying myself first, we take out $552.97 from the original $1,800 to pull me down to $1,290.23 to use for every other expense that I actually have in the month. Keep in mind, paying myself first, I can now do whatever I want with this remaining money and feel guilt-free about it because I did my saving and my investing first, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. So the first thing I always budget for is my subscriptions. I have $100 a month for therapy. I have $8.92 for the MLS season pass. This is something that is annually $120. And the way that I budget this monthly is I just divide that by 12 and I take it out each month. That way when it does come out annually, it doesn't really matter in my checking account because I have budgeted for that for the entire year. Spotify is $7.65. I'm on the student plan, which makes it a little bit cheaper than the main individual plan. I only have that for a couple more years, so I am aware that that will go up. For Adobe, it's $17.55 per month. I use the Adobe Suite for school, and I use the Adobe Suite for content stuff, so it's something that I needed in my life. And lastly is I use Velio. It is something for content creation. It's $2 a month, so it's really not a big deal. And after subscriptions, I'm left with $1,154.11. Then I have my casual spending category. This category is for my food, my groceries, my gas, and everything fun money. In my groceries and gas money budget, I have $325.70 for the entire month. My grocery budget is pretty light because I eat pretty light. I eat really healthy foods. I don't buy a lot of processed food that's a lot more expensive. So generally I get by with $325 a month for gas and groceries. My other category for the month is $300 for fun money. This is money that I do get to go and spend guilt-free. There's no questions asked about that. And that's a lot of times on dates or dinners or coffees and that sort of stuff. Anything that I want to do with that money, it's my game. Once again, because I have these systems in place, I get to spend that money completely guilt-free. So now for some transparency about what happened to me in the month of April. I went over my spending budget by $73 in the fun category because I slipped up and bought some tickets that I didn't realize were being more expensive than they actually were. So that $73 over, I then had to account for in the month of May, meaning after all of my casual spending and expenses and subscriptions in the month of May, we are left with $473.53. And something with budgeting that I always like to keep in mind is just because I messed up in 1 month does not mean that the entire system breaks. The system is there for moments like this. When there is a slip up in your budget, you still have the ability to cover that in the next month and move on and still feel good about the systems and the financial habits that you're building in your life. So I'm now left over with $473.53 for the rest of the month of May. And what I'm gonna do with that money is actually something new for myself. And it talks about a process that I'm very passionate about in personal finance. A lot of people like to take personal finance as this really strict thing with money where you can't ever spend fun money whatsoever, or you have to be really tight and you have to budget every single dollar. And I'm really against that. I think a zero-based budget is good, but I don't think that you have to not have fun with your money as well. So something I'm doing this month because of my recent promotion, which was kind of my first promotion in life, it's my first chance at making a decent amount of money in my life. And so that $473.53 will be going towards a watch. I'm getting my first proper watch in life, which is really exciting. This watch that I currently wear is just an Amazon Basics watch that I got in like my sophomore year of high school. I think it was like $40 at the time. So it's not a bad watch. It's been fun to wear over the last couple of years. I wore it at graduation and all those sorts of things. However, it would be nice to get a proper watch. So I'm gonna get the Citizen watch that has a leather band and the gold plate and face on it and all those sorts of things. And so I'm very excited about that purchase because it's one of the first kind of more fun things that I bought myself in life, a little luxury to upgrade my wardrobe a little bit and give myself a nice accessory. So I'm super stoked about that. And that's just the main lesson there is it's okay to have fun with your money when you've earned it. When you've gotten something like a promotion or when something really bad has happened to you and you would like a pick-me-up, as long as all that sort of stuff is done in moderation, it is good to spend your money and have fun with it because you've earned it. So to recap, in the month of April, we made $1,843.19 and we have now zero-based budgeted the entire thing to where I now am allowing myself to have fun with my money, saving my money, and also knocking out all the expenses that I have on a month-to-month basis. If you are doing your own budget, the main 3 takeaways that I want you guys to have throughout this video is that you should use percentages and not the dollar amounts. Always pay yourself first over anything else and give every single category a proper ceiling so that you can spend your money and know where it's going all at the same time. And most importantly, remember, it's the systems and not the numbers. So in your college life, you might make more at certain points in the summer when you can work more, but the systems that you build with your personal budget need to stay the same. It's all about those percentages and just building that wealth and the good financial habits long-term is the most important thing that you could possibly do for yourself. For a little bit of context on me, by the way, I am a sophomore in college and a finance major and a concentration in personal finance. So that's why I love to talk about these things and that's why I made this video. And this will be a series that I will consistently be keeping up for a long time here on YouTube. It's just running through my wealth building journey, talking about my monthly income and exactly where that's going to inspire you guys and show you guys that no matter what you make, it is possible to pay yourself first and build that long-term wealth that you want to build, to be able to take care of your family and all the things that you want to do with your money in a great way. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you would love to subscribe along for the journey of me building this long-term wealth, being very transparent about my finances every single month, I would love if you would drop a subscribe to the channel and a like on the video, and drop me a comment of how you're doing in your life, what's going on, what your income is if you want to talk about those things, any advice that you want, whatever. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys very soon.